Imagine waking up every morning, not on Earth, but inside a floating city, suspended above swirling clouds of acid on the deadliest planet in our solar system. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's a blueprint for the future. Scientists are now seriously planning to build human colonies, not on the surface of Venus, but hovering in the skies above its poisonous atmosphere. And the craziest part? It might actually be easier than colonizing Mars. Welcome to Tech Science Insights. If futuristic innovation excites you, subscribe for mind-blowing journeys into tomorrow's technologies. Why Venus instead of Mars? When we talk about space colonization, Mars is usually the headline. But what if the real gem of human expansion is closer, hotter, and more dangerous? That planet is Venus. Venus is often called Earth's twin because of its similar size, gravity, and composition. But its surface is an absolute hellscape. Temperatures hot enough to melt lead, crushing atmospheric pressure, and clouds made of sulfuric acid. Still, 50 kilometers above its surface, there's a hidden sweet spot, with Earth-like temperatures and pressure. This is where scientists plan to build floating cities, massive structures suspended in the Venusian skies. It's a terrifyingly brilliant idea, and it might actually work better than Mars, where radiation, low gravity, and cold present huge challenges. What would a floating city look like? You might be wondering, how can a city float in space? These colonies would resemble giant airships or blimps, filled with helium or hydrogen, making them buoyant in Venus's dense atmosphere. Above the cloud layers, solar energy is incredibly strong, meaning solar panels can power entire cities. With no solid ground, these floating megastructures would host homes, farms, research labs, and even factories, all levitating in the sky. Because the atmosphere below is denser, these cities would remain suspended naturally, almost like balloons in thick fog. The outer shells would be acid-resistant, using advanced materials like Teflon-coated titanium to survive constant exposure to corrosive clouds. The technology behind it. Creating a livable environment on Venus will require cutting-edge innovation, and some of it already exists. AI-controlled climate systems would regulate internal temperatures, humidity, and oxygen levels. Hydroponic farms would grow food without soil, recycling water vapor and nutrients within the habitat. Autonomous drones and robots would perform risky maintenance tasks in acid-heavy air. Communication with Earth would be nearly real-time compared to Mars, allowing better coordination. The use of nanotechnology coatings would prevent damage from acid rain, ensuring long-term survival. How do we get there? Getting to Venus is faster than going to Mars, about 100 days of travel, depending on the launch window. Crewed missions would likely follow a multi-step plan. Robotic drones scout the upper atmosphere, send unmanned prototypes of the floating habitats, begin remote AI construction of cities. Finally, a human crew arrives for short-term missions, followed by permanent colonists. NASA's HAVOC mission, High-Altitude Venus Operational Concept, already outlines these exact stages. What about the dangers? Let's not sugarcoat it. Venus is dangerous. One failure in atmospheric buoyancy could send an entire city plummeting into a furnace-like death. The constant threat of acid corrosion means that even the smallest leak could be catastrophic. Radiation, though less intense than Mars, is still a factor. Psychological effects of living in an isolated, floating world could also lead to mental health issues, something we've already seen in confined environments like submarines and space stations. But with AI-assisted mental wellness systems and Earth-like atmospheric pressure, these challenges might be manageable. Why bother? With all these dangers, you might ask, why risk it? Venus is a rich resource hub. Its atmosphere is full of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and other elements essential for industry. Colonizing Venus gives humanity a second home, ensuring survival in case Earth becomes uninhabitable. It also opens the door to next-gen technology testing, from AI climate systems to acid-resistant materials. And let's be honest, floating cities on another planet? That's the kind of legacy humanity dreams of. Predictions and possibilities. Now, let's talk future. Some of this is real, and some is still speculative. And I'll clearly mention what's prediction. Prediction alert. Experts believe that within 30 to 50 years, we could see the first robotic floating lab in Venus's atmosphere. By the end of this century, fully inhabited sky cities might exist, housing researchers, miners, and maybe even families. These colonies could eventually be connected, forming a Venusian sky network, allowing trade, travel, and exploration within the clouds. While Earth struggles with climate change, wars, and resource depletion, maybe, just maybe, our salvation floats above the clouds of a deadly planet. From deadly acid skies to the dream of floating civilizations, Venus shows us both the nightmare and the possibility. Will we rise to build the impossible, or fall back in fear of it? This is Tech Science Insights. If this vision made you pause, wonder, or dream, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the future of our species. The stars are calling, and Venus might just be our next step.